All right, we're live.
Okay,
Let me see if I can.
no, I can try one more thing.
Yeah. I think it's picking it up. I think it's picking it up. We'll go with it for now. Great. Thank you, Robert. I think we were able to work out with the whole mic situation.
Okay.
So I think we're okay. But if anybody were to message hey, we can't hear anything.
It says it's live.
Yeah, but nobody's there. But usually there's 4 or 5 people that tune in.
Okay.
They were pretty boisterous the last time. And I was like, I'm working with limited capacity.
Boisterous because they couldn't hear the audio.
Very well, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but
So we have the microphones and stuff,
they're
right?
all
Or is
connected. They're all connected.
This is the same setup as before.
Pretty much. The only thing that's different is we're running the audio through this.
Okay.
So ideally, it should pick up everything. We're also a little bit further back, and we're right where the audio is coming through. So it might just be a better setup overall.
Okay.
Well,
if they say anything, we'll just ask for feedback so we can adjust as we need to and go from there. I mean, it's a new place, so different acoustics. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Oh, the colors are pretty. Oh, it's a dress. I love it. How are you doing? Good. How are you? Good. Thank you. Thank you. It's a little warm for this, but I'm not going to wear shorts and a t-shirt. That's why it's like, yeah, I want to wear. It's gorgeous. And I love the colors. How's it going? Yes. Need some petitions. Here, have you one for now? Email it to you. Yeah, I agree. It's basically this area. Well, a little bit more north of McKellis. So kind of northeast. That's just you can pull a turf and go. I'm going to go with Martha on Sunday morning at a place called Rockville District. If you don't know the time, if you want to come to that, she's driving. We can then. It's Sunday 9:30 to 11. Yeah. Yeah, because it's way northeast, and it goes all the way out to Marie. north of McKellips, and it goes all the way out to it's got more representation of snakes and coyotes than it does because the areas where there's no housing out there, it's just national forest. I don't know where they came up with that, but anyway, what else did it do? Okay, oh, you're welcome. I'm excited. This is fun. You're so good at it. I think it's fun. Love it. I love it.
Testing, testing. Could we have everybody take a seat, please? We're going to start getting your feet and say, we're going to walk to go through. This reminds me of every staff meeting I've ever had. Pretty much if you have your attention on thank you. Yes, the socializing is actually very important. Me and to the LD10, we will get through this as quickly as possible so you have some more time afterwards. For those who are here for the first time, I'm Robert Doyle, Chair of LD10. So anybody here for the first time, please take a step so we can properly recognize you. You would stand up. We also just look out for our guests and make sure that the word points. The first thing we will do is the Pledge of Allegiance. Please rise. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. First thing before we go on, I would like to acknowledge the other members of your board because they work incredibly hard. I would say it's more than a 30-hour job that they've undertaken. Michelle, our first chair, is right here. We have Katrina Schaffner, our second chair. Katrina ran for the Congressional District 5 last time around, so she has a lot of in-the-field experience for us. Our new treasurer is Justin Koff. I will give a report because we haven't had a chance to. I'm not just going to throw paper at you. Let's see who else we have with us tonight. Oh, Cassandra, please, is that the new secretary? Jessica Gronberg over there, doing our computers. She's been a district chair twice, which is a certain level of masochism. Of course, she warned me about that aspect of this job. And then Mary Cossack is not with us right now. She is traveling back in Wisconsin for family business. And so thank you very much. We will get a chance to meet some of our candidates tonight. There are other candidates here. Josh Tilton is here. Laura Metcalf will be speaking later. And of course, Brian Calloway is running for House. Ellen Hunter is running for House. And Blair Rose is running for Senate. Danny Hart is running for City Council. In District 5, my district. Do we have anybody else? Those are the people on the ground, those are the people in the trenches every single day. What was that? Precincts? Precinct chairs. Well, how about we do it this way? Let's do some key groups within LD10 because we have three organizations within LD10 that are critical for outreach. One of them is a very stalwart student group at the Orchard 55 Apartments, and that's led by Joanne Frazier. We have Jack and Joanne is again, they were there when I ran for Senate, and they're putting in the time. It's not sticking around. Do we have anybody here from Winter World Democrats? Very important group based in the Leisure World development. Leisure World Precinct had the highest voter turnout in LD10 in 2024. So we're doing something right. Then we have a new group called Blue Vistas Democrats in the Los Angeles. Anybody with the Blue Vistas? So that they've come along very, very quickly, and this is what we want to see as the neighborhood groups. Is these really it's more than just neighbors meeting. It's taking people have to take a formal stance on deciding we're going to form our own organization. I will continue with just talking about the early ballot process and the key dates. You guys are just firing me because I understand chairs are here. I think I would remember. Yeah, I wasn't paying attention when I did that. Wait, no, that comes next. Pre-warning, because you know I'm going to forget. Thank you. Such confidence in the board has me. I just want to mention some key dates about the upcoming primary ballot. The ballots will drop, and the last day to register is June 22nd. So if you know anybody who hasn't registered, I've been seeing everybody here has done it. June 22nd, 30 Eastern, June 1. The ballots will be mailed, should be with you on or about June 24th. The last day to ask for a ballot was July 10th. So if your ballot hasn't come in, or you feel that you just do something wrong, July 10th is the cutoff date. And then the primary is July 21. Okay, so there's the key dates. I would give Michelle credit for reminding you of that. So I'd like to get a motion to approve the minutes from the last meeting. Do we have a motion? We assume everybody's read it and memorized it. What was that? Two motions to approve. We must be very good minutes then. Do we have a second? Joanne seconds. All in favor? All opposed? Good. I'm hearing we've gone away at that point. Justin became treasurer at the last meeting. We had not had a chance to hand off books and process. So I'm acting as bookkeeper for LD10. So I'm going to give my current financial statement Our available cash right now is $9,359. So we're in a fairly good state. Though I would say that I'd like to have by the time the primary hits, at least $16,000. We would like as much money as possible, but we wouldn't spend all $16,000 this year. We need cash reserve going into next year. So I'd like to have $15,000 to turn over to our promotional people, to do our voter guides, to just not be hamstrung by a lack of money. One of the things that Katrina, who's running fundraising, will talk about, currently there is a match. So every dollar donated right now is matched. We have a couple of anonymous sponsors for that. So the money is immediately going to develop until that match is fulfilled. So if you're thinking, maybe I'll do it later, now's the time, because it's a double one here. So we're moving along in a pretty good clip. Our revenue for 2026 is $1,176 a month, which is up 126% over last year. So we're showing that health. But of course, there's never enough money. We can spend it really, really fast. We are quite frugal on how we spend. Our biggest expense this year is going to pay for places like this. This is not free. So we prepaid for the rest of the year. The library was free, but we never knew when we were going to get it. So we jumped on reserving this. That's why we moved our dates for the rest of the year. So just paying for places we would have been our number one expense in 2026. Do I have a motion to approve that report? Okay, we're going to go with hand gestures. Do we have an approval? This will work. A second. We have a second? Thank you. All in favor of the financial statement? Aye. Opposed? Okay, great. The basics are done. Next, we're going to hear from Katrina Schaffner, who is managing fundraising. And we've actually have an initiative going on tonight that I know you'll want to take advantage of after the meeting, not during.
Okay, I won't be too long, but we are, like Robert said, that we are really focused on fundraising right now so that we can really turn out the vote. It does cost to knock on those doors, to print those voter guides, to canvass, to text bank, all of these efforts that we put in every cycle to help move our district forward and help our wonderful candidates get elected. It does cost. So you're going to see us focus a lot on fundraising right now in the election cycle. And as a result of that, we are launching a new fundraising committee. And I'm heading that up right now. You'll start seeing some new exciting things going on, like our little popcorn corner today. I told my kiddo if we sold 10 bags, I would buy him a big movie theater popcorn maker. So thank you for helping him reach that goal. You helped our movement come He's working really hard. I know we're all working really hard to move our district forward, so fundraising is a big part of it. I'm going to start recruiting. If anybody has a fundraising experience, please hit me up, or you can sign up. I have a volunteer form over at the table here. If you've done any PR or event planning, things like that you've done in the past that you have experience in, please sign up to help. I promise I won't throw you too hard, but it is a lot of work to organize these events. Next Saturday, we have a really cool class. It's a self-defense class, and we have a cool instructor named Chad who's going to be helping us out with that. And he is so kindly donating his expertise and his time to that fundraiser, and it's going to be held at the library. beginners class, so no experience is necessary. But you are going to start to see some of these different kinds of events being scheduled for us to participate in to help us grow our community. We're also going to be doing some text banking, so be on the lookout for all of that, and please join our team so we can keep growing and building. As Robert mentioned before, we have a donor match right now, so we are doing what we can to help match your donations dollar for dollar, so it goes twice as far. And we are so far hitting our goals. You can see right now we met our first match and we're now on to the next one. So keep it going, whether it's monthly or donating at our monthly meetings or our events. If it's $5, if it's $50, whatever you can give, donate your time. And we're all in this together. So that's all I have for you. But thank you so much for all your contributions, your support. We're really working hard to make sure every dollar goes far.
Thank you, Katrina. Next, we're going to hear about future events from Michelle McNeil, our first chair.
Hi, you guys. So, can you drive? Okay, perfect. Okay, so we have a lot of things going on. Today, obviously, we've got a really cool candidate forum coming up. Then on Thursday, we are going to have political study and happy hour. I don't know where we're at yet, but we'll be somewhere. This is kind of how it goes. Well, our normal place, the Thursday night is, there's a book club at the Turning Point USA, Red Mountain Ladies, and I'm sorry. We're going someplace else. So, and like Katrina talked about, we have on June 27th, we have our safety workshop and fundraiser. It is free to attend. It is at the Red Mountain Library. It is in our old space program room. But this is the way that we can raise money and learn to be safe in our community. Especially, this is especially geared towards women. Then on Friday and Saturday, we are doing the petition hub. Again, gathering signatures at Red Mountain Library from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. both those days. We may still go on June 26th. Depends on how hot it is. So then on, sorry, that's okay. Then there's some other things in the valley. Maricopa County Democratic Party is having a Juneteenth happy hour tech education fundraiser. They also, there's the QR code on your agenda. If you scan that, that'll take you to the event page of our website, and it has all of the links. We tried to do 2-page agenda for you guys. The links have to go. Sorry. So we gave it to a different way. Then the summer convention, this is especially important for any precinct committee people in the room. It's going to be a good year. They would like you to RSVP. That's this Saturday. Then we have a Blue Vistas Democrats house party with live Native American music. Robert's running that little event, and he says he's pretty close to full. Then canvassing, volunteering, save the date. We've got some other good things coming up. We've got a really good candidate running in District 5 for City of Mesa. And maybe you guys don't know, may not realize this, but City Council races can be decided at the primary. So the primary is really the election, possibly for Danny Hart. So he needs volunteers, and I have his posted on the website. It's easy to sign up. and send them an email and help put you to work. The same thing for our legislative slate. They need people to drive, they need people to canvass, they need also probably phone banking. They're all here in this room. Talk to them and help. We need to get them on elected, actually. They're gonna be on the ballot. So, then another important thing is Robert talked about becoming a Pulitzer winner. We don't know when the training is. We'll send out a notice as soon as we know. It could be in the next day or so, because Red Mountain Community College is the main vote center in LD9. Early voting starts June 24th. That's next Wednesday, 9 to 5. And it's two slots a day, one observer a day. You'll get trained. It's 4 hours, real easy. And we kind of need to keep an eye on what's happening at the polls. So, just saying. There are sign-up sheets for that on the table. There are sign-ups on the website. If you have a problem, you know our email. You know what we look like. You know our phone numbers. So, there's no excuse. All right. Then, next month, Secretary of State Avery contest will be coming. Now, we have a really good candidate for him tonight. I know he's fun, but he's in Congress. So he didn't deserve us, he just moved us. And then in August, we get Lorena Austin and we get Greg Steen. So we'll get up to dates from both of them. But the next July 23rd, it's 2 days after the primary. We'll also be talking about election stuff. Adrian Fontes will be here. We are asking for a $30 donation for that day to come to that event to help fund our mission to get Democrats elected. All right, that's all I have.
Thank you so much, Michelle. I should mention at our September meeting, we will have Charlene Fernandez, chair of the Arizona Democratic Party. I've met her several times, and she is working very hard and very cheerfully rebuilding the Arizona Democratic Party. And in my perspective, doing a wonderful job. The party got moved last year, if you're aware of all the issues with the chair that had to be moved out, and she stepped in and is doing a great job. So September, we'll have another luminary of Arizona politics with us. We're just going to be very lucky about that. Now we're going to move on to some of our candidate spotlights and community engagement values that we all share. The first person we're going to hear from is going to moderate our candidate forum later on, and she did so last month, is Dr. Laura Metcalf, who's running for the East Valley Institute of Technology. I've been listening to you since 2013. Yes. And she's really a hard worker on the campaign trail.
Thank you very much. I appreciate your time and listening to me. I am Dr. Laura Metcalf, and I am running for re-election at East Valley Institute of Technology. Is anyone familiar with East Valley Institute of Technology? Okay, good. Got some hands in the audience. Let me give you a little background about me. I have been an educator for 31 years. I hold a doctorate degree and a master's degree from Northern Arizona University in educational leadership. And for 26 of the 31 years that I was in education, I've been I've served public schools in the form of an administrator. Currently, I am a high school principal of a small school that takes referrals from Phoenix Union of students who have gone through traumatic experiences such as sex trafficking, such as homelessness, such as going through the juvenile system and that kind of thing. I have 50 students, and that is my passion. East Valley Institute of Technology, for those of you who aren't sure, is a public school.
And what they do is it's a vocational school or a trade school, if you will, for high school students and adults. And they can get certifications, an associate's degree, and education training and work experience in one of 48 areas, such as automotive, such as medical, such as graphic design, such as welding. And I'm running for re-election for that governing board. I was a teacher there, and it is a wonderful opportunity to be able to meet the workforce needs of the East Valley and the state. So I need your help. I am collecting signatures still, and there's a petition back there, and to sign up. And if you have any questions, I am more than willing to talk to you and answer those for you. So with that, yes, ma'am.
Your district's kind of confusing.
Yes, it is.
And so we were trying to get signatures for you, but people are like, well, where exactly are we in district? Well, so can you kind of tell us, do you have kind of a east-west boundary or?
Yeah, it goes south into the little bit of Chandler. It covers West Mesa, and then it covers downtown Mesa, and then it jumps up to north of McKellips and all the way out to Meridian Road. I have a lot of constituents in Tonto National Forest, such as javelinas and snakes, and things of that sort. But basically, it covers West Mesa, a little bit of Chandler, and north and east Mesa. And I can,
We are in your district here. No.
no, we're too far south. We have to go north to north of
There's a
McKellips.
lot of us, okay.
Yeah, it's very weird. I don't know how they came up with that. I couldn't answer that question if I tried. So if I have a map, I will make sure that I get one. Are there any other questions that I can answer for you? Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Metcalf. If you've attended any LD10 meeting, you know that pretty consistently, our number one and number two value is public education. We've always been vociferous in our support of school board candidates, always been out there trying to get a good group of people elected to them, and always been very supportive of Save Our Schools, which actually I also support through my business. As a small businessman, the whole concept of the voucher, which I frankly see as a form of middle class, upper class welfare with no controls, a lack of controls just drives me crazy. We've now got a petition to try to put some boundaries on that. But I'd like to invite the leader up here to talk about what SOS is doing. And I apologize, I didn't practice your name.
All right. As he said, my name's Nita. I work with Save Our Schools Arizona as both a community organizer and a social media manager. And I live a little bit to your south on LD14, but I do work as a coordinator in all of Northeast Valley's LD10, LD8, LD9, LD14, dabbling a little bit into LD12. So cover a lot of territory, including this area. As you all know, we also have some amazing volunteers here, Michelle and Martha, doing an amazing job of helping out with the education. We are working really hard for months to get this Protected Education Act across the line, and as of today, we are 13 days away from our turn-in deadline. We turn in on July 2nd, and we'll give you more details, but everyone's invited to join us. We're going to do a press conference and turn in that day. I will give you more details when we have them, but some of you probably are wondering what happened last week. May or may not have seen that there was Republicans were trying to do a backroom deal in the very last minutes of the session. Fortunately, that did not go through, and so the Protected Education Act is alive. We spent 15, 16 hours at the Capitol Fridays in the hours of the morning. Some people came early, some people left, some people stayed. I was there for children, I was there until about 3:30 in the morning, kind of just making sure we observed and were present to witness what was happening. Unfortunately, there were some very negative things that happened as well, and so I want to make sure you're aware of those because we will want to make sure we're messaging those. So we will be fighting for the Protected Education Act. We will be voting yes on that. But there are some really bad bills. Unfortunately, as citizens, we have to get hundreds of thousands of signatures and pour our blood, sweat, and tears to get an initiative onto the ballot.
The legislatures do not. The legislature does not. They just have to get a majority vote to then get it on the ballot. It is veto-proof. Governor Hobbs cannot veto these. They go straight to the ballot for voters to vote, and there are a lot of them in our group. I'm going to tell you a little bit about three of them just real quick. So, I'm not going to tell you the numbers because those are irrelevant at this point. They will get new numbers to go on the ballot. But there was one that's an anti-union bill specifically to retaliate on Arizona's teachers union. And it can be very damaging to them. So we are going to have to fight hard against that bill, that will not build the initiative that made it to the ballot. We can learn a lot more as things come out. It's just all brand new, but that's one of them. There's also another bill that was put through by Matt Press. And he likes to pretend he loves teachers and wants to fight for teacher pay and stuff, but we all know that that's not true. He's endorsed by 3 USA after all. And they do not love teachers and want to support our public schools. So actions speak louder than words, right? So he put forth a bill that would require Arizona's public schools to spend 60% of their funding on classroom teacher pay. And that all sounds well and fine. It sounds amazing as a former educator myself, but the problem is that is not possible because our schools are so deeply underfunded, and we know that there are billions of dollars that the state owes our public schools for infrastructure. And so, unfortunately, they've had to make compromises in putting money in classrooms in order to keep up with buildings so our students and our teachers have buildings that are able to learn and teach in barely. So anyway, it's a sneaky attack bill. So that's another bad one. And then the final one came through in the 3 hours of the night. We were all there in the Senate when they voted. There were 2, Hoffman and Peterson joined the Democrats and voted against the bathroom bill. Hoffman and Peterson because they don't want any voucher reform at all. The Democrats because it was not a big deal. Anyways, they went through 2048 and that one. They went straight down to appropriations to an initiative that had never been introduced, and we never heard about it before, it was brand new. There were representatives from the Goldwater Institute and all kinds of far-right institutions that clearly knew this was happening and had a plan for it. They just came, we had been there all day, they came just at that time, so clearly it was happening. And it's under the guise of a bill that would allow, or an initiative that would allow military families to keep their rollover funds from vouchers year after year, and only military families. But there's some really, really sneaky stuff deep down in that bill that if it passes and our Protect Education Act passes, it would totally negate our entire Protect Education Act and every single person that voted for it. Yeah, it's really bad, it's really sneaky, and we're gonna fight really hard against it. But we need people to know now and start talking about it now. We do not have numbers on the ballot yet. When we do, we will let you know exactly what they are, but it's gonna take all of us at doors, out in our community, and talking to people and informing people right now. And I will tell you, there is a lot more information. We go over all of these things much more in depth. We put out a weekly education report every Saturday, almost every Saturday. We skip it once in a blue one, but almost every Saturday. I know you get lots of emails and lots of texts from us, especially right now because we are texting and emailing every day, making sure we get every ballot or every petition back. But the weekly education report is an amazing source of education news, K-12 news, mostly in Arizona. What we do, if there are issues that affect Arizona education, we do talk a little bit about federal as well. So I highly encourage you to make sure it's a Substack. You either subscribe to our Substack or check that weekly email where that headline is, because it will dive deep into what happened in the legislature. All 3 of these bills I just talked about, you can learn a lot more than what I'm telling you here. So if anybody has any quick questions, I'm happy to take them, but I know I'm out of time. Yes.
Do you know which organization is going to be supporting and promoting the bill that got pushed to the ballot last minute?
The 2048?
Yeah, the 2048.
I know Goldwater Institute is one of them, or something of the others. There's 4 of them, they're all the same.
Okay. So they'll be putting a lot of money into
They absolutely will. In fact, one more thing I forgot to tell you all is you all know that there was another voucher petition out there put forth by Fortify Arizona, which was funded by AFC, American Federation for Children, which is backed by Betsy DeVos. They are no longer collecting signatures and have vowed to support that. 2048 instead. We said from the get-go, we believed that their whole point was to confuse people and make them think they signed ours, but we did not believe they ever had any intention of turning that petition in. That was our opinion. We didn't know that. We didn't have insider knowledge, but we've done this work a long time and kind of knew that that was probably their case, and this kind of shows that that is exactly what their case was, because now they just all of a sudden they've got at least $1 million into it, and they're just dropping their petition, and now they're gonna go support the 2048 in the military bill. So you can tell what side they see. Well, I think it'll be interesting to see. There have been people that have come out and that have already said, like, you're using us as props, don't use us. There might be some that feel that agree with it and think it's fine. If they use ESA vouchers, maybe, I don't know. I can't, I'm not a military family personally. I have a brother-in-law that is, but they don't have kids, so I can't give you my personal. But I imagine we're gonna have people on both sides of that, as far as the military goes. Yes?
Give us your website again, please.
It's pretty simple. It's saveourschoolsarizona.com or
SOSArizona.com.
Okay.
SOSArizona.org. You can see me too. I'll be here. We'll be here. We're over there. I can give you more information, my personal information. You can reach out to me by email always, which is just leah@sosaz.org. Arizona? You're here. You think I know this?
It's
but-
sosarizona.org. There you go.
My name is my email address. I have to start for that. Anything else? Awesome, thank you all so much for having me.
Thank you, Leah. Yes, she reminded me of that competing petition that was out there. And it was clearly out there only to confuse people, to get them to sign the wrong line. Another dirty trick which we've come to expect. But she also brought up the issue that there will be many referrals from the legislature onto the ballot. And it's going to be a very, very thick ballot. And unless you're a lawyer like Blair is, they're impossible to interpret. So that is why our voter guide will become even more critical. So if you find yourself looking at that, you know, how do I interpret it? You know, you'll contact us because we will have it pre-vetted and make recommendations for you. They won't be orders, they won't be, this is just for you to think, and do you agree with LD10? Do you agree with your Democratic community? As I said, we do support public education, we support the teachers union. We clearly, in my personal opinion, the Republican Party of Arizona is out to destroy public education and totally privatize it, which means that it will eventually be run by private equity companies. That's just a long-term trend of all these privatizations. So check in with us. We will have all that material ready for you come the time the ballots start to drop in August or September. Our next quick speaker is Thomas Lund from the Copper State Victory. He is a regional organizing director. I met him a few weeks ago, and he's actually here to talk about job openings.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon, evening at this point. My name is Thomas Lund. I am 25 years old, and I was born and raised in Yuma, of all places. But I've been living out here in the Valley for the past 7 years. I went to ASU, Forks Up. And ever since then, ever since I graduated in 2023, I've been working as a substitute teacher. So it's interesting you guys are talking about schools, because I have seen firsthand our schools degrade and fall apart, classrooms expand in size from 30 students to 35 to 40. Like it's bad. It's really bad out there. I remember this one teacher was talking to me, and he was like, for the first time ever, I'm legitimately scared that I'm not going to have a job next year, because they're closing down all these schools across Mesa, across Scottsdale, across everywhere. And it's really bad. But that's not why I'm here, though it is part of why I'm here. I'm here because I'm with Copper State Victory, which Copper State Victory is the coordinated campaign to elect Democrats up and down the ballot this year. Hobbs, Mays, Context, everyone all the way down to dog catching. We are here to elect Democrats Democrats, and we are here to keep Arizona blue and make it even bluer. And so we can't do this alone. I can't do this alone. We need people to sign up as volunteers, which I have a sheet here actually, for if you are willing to volunteer with us. Please fill out the sheet, I'm gonna put it back there. And then also at the same time, we also have jobs opening up. We are in most need of organizers, so people like me 2 years ago when I was a organizer on the Harris campaign, that was the coordinated campaign back then. Obviously it didn't turn out the way we wanted it to, but it was one of the greatest experiences of my life to get to reach out to so many voters and feel like I was making a difference. And that's why I'm carrying it forward into this cycle as well, because the fight never ends, we gotta keep on, we have to keep on pushing, we have to keep on moving, because, our rivals are not gonna stop, I mean, look, they're already trying to undercut every single one of our efforts, like they just mentioned, with Save Our Schools, with like putting out the fake petition to kind of confuse people, that's, what I'm trying to say is, this is a very, very important year, an extremely important year. And in my opinion, a year in which Democrats in Arizona can do very, very well. But obviously, we have to organize. We have to put in the blood, sweat, and tears to turn this state fully blue. So that is why I'm extending, I've got this sheet right here. Just scan that code up here, and it'll show you the job application for organizer, which it's not an easy job. I'm not gonna lie, it's not an easy job at all. It's a lot of hours. It's, it can be hard, talking to people at the doors who, once you say you're a Democrat, they hate your guts. But, it's fulfilling work though. Because for every one jerk in me as a door, you need two supporters, or maybe even one supporter and one person who's like, I'm not Democrat, but I'm interested, So it's very, very important work, and we need people, we need manpower. So, yes, I'm going to put these sheets back there with the Vote for Arizona We Can Afford board. And so once again, Thomas, Regional Organizing Director, I'll be covering LD10 as well as 9, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. And so, it's our goal to elect Democrats. We're all on the same side here. So anyway, thank you so much for your time. And thank you, Robert, for letting me speak. And anyway, thank you.
Okay, really quick, 10 seconds. Just a quick plug-in for Allie. She's one of our PCs, and she's organizing a carpool initiative. She has a few drivers signed up, but if you or anyone you know needs extra support getting to and from our events, don't forget about that. It's a really great way to build more accessibility within our community. So let's just spread the word for that, okay? Thank you. That's it for me.
Sorry about that. Thank you, Katrina. Well, we're now on to the main event for the evening, the candidate forum. Could we have the candidates come up on stage and join us? There's a couple of things I was going to say after the forum, but I gotta tell you, once this thing ends, people are done listening to it. So I'm gonna do it now, or you still have to listen to me. If you have any unnotarized petitions, we do have notaries on site here tonight to take care of that. Come on up. You can talk on. No, it's, let's move this one. Can you turn that off? So, also at the bottom of the agenda, there is, if you do want to become a volunteer election worker, there's a QR code in the left-hand lower corner. The LD10 website's in the middle, and if you want to participate in our current match, the QR code's on the right side. We've got it done, so we're going on to now hearing what the candidates have to say. We're going to take probably a couple of minutes in here to balance levels. You want to start?
Thank you. All right, once again, I wear a lot of hats. So I'm Dr. Metcalf. I will be facilitating this evening's candidate forum. Thank you very much for joining us this evening. We're going to be checking microphones and balances to make sure that everybody can be heard. So what we'll do is give a minute or two to make sure that that happens, so that way everybody has a fair opportunity to be able to participate. All right, we've got a timer too.
Oh, I'm sorry. People end up on this.
Go ahead.
Yes.
Okay. All right. I am Dr. Metcalf. Once again, welcome. Good evening and welcome to the LD10 Democrats Candidates Forum. This evening's forum features candidates for the Arizona State Legislature and Mesa City Council District 5. Our goal is to provide voters with an opportunity to hear directly from candidates on issues affecting Mesa, the East Valley, and Arizona. Each candidate will receive equal speaking time. Opening and closing statements are limited to 1 minute, candidates. Candidates will have 1 minute to answer each question. There will be no rebuttals or follow-up questions. Speaking order will rotate throughout the evening to ensure fairness. And first of all, what we'll do is we'll start off with A, B, C, and D. So we'll go left to right, A, B, C, and D. Any questions on who is what letter? You're A. Raise your hand if you're B. Raise your hand if you're C. And raise your hand if you're D. Oh my gosh, 100%. Okay, let's begin with opening statements. We will start with candidate A, Helen Hunter, candidate B, Blair Moses, candidate C, Brian Calloway, sorry, Brian, and candidate D, Danny Hart. Opening statements will start with candidate A. 1 minute.
Hello, LD10.
Hello.
I am the candidate for the Arizona House of Representatives. And my message tonight is this is our time. Our time to win elections. Time for every Arizonan that's 18 years and over to get out and vote. We have to show up and stand up and speak out and vote. Like your life depends on it, because it kind of does. Our state legislature has been held hostage and manipulated by elected officials who could care less about most of their constituents. We have to have representatives that represent us, because we have overwhelming needs and concerns, and we are their constituents. Major issues: affordability, education, ESA and teacher pay mainly, and the attack on our voting rights. Worst of all, injustices everywhere. So that this memory of our democracy has to be changed. I'm here to help do that. I need your help. I believe I'm running again for LD10. Be with me. It's time to speak out, stand up, and show out.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Ms. Moses, 1 minute.
My name is Blair Moses. I think most of you know that I'm a retired attorney who worked in healthcare for 30 years before I went to law school. Because of that background, a year of constitutional law when I was in law school has made the Constitution very important to me. And one of my major priorities is defending our constitutional rights. They're being chipped away nationally and in this state. Because I was in healthcare for 30 years, I'm always very concerned about people who do not have access to healthcare, either because they just don't have a place to go, or they've lost their insurance because of what this administration has done. And people need to have access to healthcare. That's a major priority of mine. Public schools has always been a major priority of mine, getting control of the vouchers and ensuring that we're funding them. And last but not least is affordability issues. Many of us cannot afford food anymore, our food rates have doubled.
Thank you.
One thing, if that's important to you, vote for me.
Mr. Callaway, 1 minute.
My fellow Minnesotans, my people, I started out almost 20 some odd years ago becoming a high school science teacher. So I'm highly qualified to teach all the sciences. And I had to get out of the classroom because what our state standards were doing and what I saw our students needing were not compatible. So I started my own education business, and so I've been training world-class creative problem solvers for the last decade now. And when I woke up politically, in 2016, which I read a couple hundred books to figure out how did we get here, and where do we go from here. And I discovered FDR accessibility, not price. It's all about affordability and all the things that we want and need that we don't have. I believe we here in Arizona can have nice things. So I need you to join me and tell your friends that we can have nice things.
Yes. Callaway, thank you. Mr. Hart, 1 minute.
Yes, first I'd like to just thank everybody for letting me be up here. Of course, they're all on state elections. I'm the only one here for District 5 City Council election. There's 5 other people running. The only Democrat, that's probably why I'm the only one up here. But a little bit of my background, I grew up in a very small town. I come from a family of 11, my mother, my dad, and 9 children. After I graduated high school, I moved to Arizona for the first time. Attended University of Arizona, where I graduated, of course, and then went on to law school. I got accepted at UCLA, so that's where I ended up going. I had met my wife here in Arizona, so we moved there together. Of course, after I graduated from law school, had a lot of student debt, just like we do today, and so we made our lives there. And I practiced law there for 40 years until I came back here to Mesa. And that was as a result of very serious health problems, which laid me up for about 2 years, but I'm now fully recovered and I'm anxious to get back into doing something important.
Thank you, Mr. Hart. Okay, candidates, this is our first question. We will be dealing with water and growth. And I will read the question to you. And the order of go, again, we'll start with A, B, C, and D. So Ms. Hunt, you want to be first. Let me read the question. Water security in the East Valley depends on state groundwater law and city development decisions. From the office you're seeking, what is the most important action you can take, and where do you need the other level of government to act? Each candidate will get 1 minute. Ms. Hunt.
I think that there has to be a comprehensive plan, operated, managed, and pulled together by the state that considers all the other entities, including the federal government, the state, and the Native American community. All those things are critical, and I think we need to do that. That has to be done, and it has to be headed by the state.
All right, Ms. Moses, 1 minute.
I believe very strongly that we do need to have some state regulation in helping the water. We do have some now already. There used to be 5, I think, active management areas. I think there's 7 now, but that are already monitoring certain parts of the state. Maricopa County has several of those in it, where they have to read water and meter it, but we need to expand that, I think, at the state level. However, we need to have the cities involved in ensuring that's happening and in making sure that people are following the law, following those regulations, and finding out what those cities and Native American areas' needs are, because they're varied from city to city. Different Native American sites need different things, and that's information we need to have a proper state funding, proper state bills to ensure we're doing enough water conservation while providing the water that's needed for the people.
Thank you. Mr. Callaway, 1 minute.
Hey, this is not a new problem. We live in the desert. We've been growing since we founded as a capital city. So we've done big things in the past to make sure that we've gotten to be able to grow and develop to this point. And we can do some great things in the future for our continued growth and lifestyle. There's been plans since the 50s to do water pipelines from the Mississippi. That 2 weeks of flow, so 0.25% of the Mississippi flow, would double our amount of water available here. Our groundwater is an estimated 50% of where our futures are. That is not a known. That's not a let's cross our fingers and hope for the best. If we want to persist here, we need to think bigger, better, and further ahead in time. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Hurt, 1 minute.
Yes, I look at it a little bit differently. Yes, of course, we don't have enough water. We are in the desert. What are we doing putting up a data center that's going to use, I think, 5 million gallons a day or whatever? It's ridiculous. So, but why is that happening? I think it's happening because of this notion that unlimited growth is good. And I don't believe that. I think controlled growth is good, right? Pragmatic growth is good. But I don't know what just growth for growth's sake does for the people that I want to represent, which are the regular people, not the millionaires and billionaires. So I think that's ultimately just the reality. We have to realize we can't just keep growing and growing, and we need to take care of things the way they are now.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Hart. Our next question is question 2. We're dealing with housing and affordability. Our speaking order will be B. So Ms. Moses will go first. Mr. Callaway is C. He will go second. Mr. Hart is D. He will go third. And Ms. Hunt will go, Dr. Hunt, excuse me, sorry, will go fourth as A. Here is your question. Housing costs are shaped by both state policy, funding and zoning preemption, and city choices, density permitting. From your office, what would you do and how would you coordinate with the other level so housing stays affordable and attainable in Mesa? Candidates have 1 minute. Ms. Moses, you're first.
Although all those different agencies do work together, we're still seeing really excessively high housing costs. The average cost of a home in Arizona is $400,000. That is not something the majority of people can afford. I believe a piece of that has been caused by the corporations who have bought up all of the single family housing, or a great deal of the single family housing. And I think one of the first things that we certainly need to do in the legislature is have some bills introduced that will prevent big corporations, big business, any of them from buying up single family homes. They need to be available for single families. They tend to turn it around, charge more for it, and that causes an increase in the price of housing. But to me, housing also includes people that are living in apartments. That is their house, and we also need to make sure that we're controlling the cost of rent.
Thank you so much. Mr. Callaway, 1 minute.
So there's estimated 23 to 27,000 Airbnbs in America. There are 14 at most, 14 25 thousand people that are on homes on campus. Right there, that's not counting our apartments are already 12 to 15% under, are empty. And they're in the next few years, the amount of apartments are going to grow. So we have plenty of supply. So that tells me that the artificial, the demand or the price for that is artificially high. So we need big corporations out of housing. Houses should be owned by people, for people, to raise families. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hart, 1 minute.
Yes, there's a lot we can do about affordability. It's obviously a supply and demand issue. So on the supply side, in the city, we can authorize a lot more higher density housing, a lot more low cost apartment buildings, things of that nature, and prioritize those instead of just keep authorizing huge developments in outlying areas that, are more for luxury homes. That doesn't really do anything for affordable housing. We also, of course, on the demand side, what I alluded to earlier, which is we don't need to keep growing. We don't need to keep having unlimited growth. We let in big companies. Who do they hire? Maybe they hire hundreds of people, but they're attracting people from outside our community. And they're coming in here and putting more pressure on our rents, more pressure on our houses. So I would look at it from both ends. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hart. Dr. Hunter, 1 minute.
I believe the state should take a major role in providing affordable housing for Arizonans. It should also address the fraud that's occurring, especially in apartment areas. As I understand, there are about 7 major owners, builders that own about 70% of Arizona's apartments, and they have control of the rent. So I would think that some introduction of bills and legislation that would address it. Eliminate the fraud and make sure that affordable housing is available to the lower income, the middle income, and control the price range for the higher income.
Okay, thank you so much. We'll be moving to question 3, dealing with homelessness. Our speaking order will go, Mr. Callaway, will go C, D, A, and B. Here is your question. The state holds much of the funding and authority on homelessness while city manages it at the street level. How should Mesa and the legislature split that work, and what would you press the other level to do? 1 minute, Mr. Callaway, go first.
Well, I think that's we're gonna have to get corporations out of the housing business, and so that we can make housing available for them. Because there's any given day, there's 14.5 thousand, people that are unhoused in Maricopa County. There's all, by the end of the next few years, there's going to be 100,000 vacant homes. That are newly built, apartments, all that. That does not mesh. The free market has not worked for that, obviously, because we have, was it 7 times the supply than we have the demand. So we need, as a state and city, to crack down and push back on those corporations to make sure that housing is a human right here in Arizona, because no one should be living on the streets when it's 122 degrees out. We need to do whatever it takes to make sure people are housed and fed and educated. That's how we judge our societies.
Thank you. Mr. Burke, 1 minute.
Yes, I think we need more transitional housing. Some of you may know about the Sunhill project right down the street from here. Seemed like a pretty good project as part of the Off the Streets program, which was to give people a 90-day free rent in a facility with lots of support, mental health support, job training, getting jobs, all these different things, mental health, drug rehabilitation, all going to be in one location, nice, safe, and secure. Get people off the street and give them that 90 days support to get on their feet. And to me, that's ultimately the solution. Unfortunately, our city council, after one of the members was replaced by the Turning Point person, decided now, all of a sudden, after we spent $13.5 million, they couldn't find another $400,000 to furnish the place and get it open. So this is how significant city council can be in our community. And that's ultimately, we need more sun in our complex.
Thank you. Dr. Hunter, 1 minute.
We have to get rid of the fraud in the housing industry. Homelessness is the responsibility of the cities and the state working together. The city should be the first entity to address it with assistance from the state. How homelessness is used, we don't need dogs on the street. I can't understand why we're still leaving people on the street. We have the resources to make that happen.
Thank you. Ms. Moses, 1 minute.
I see kind of a two-sided thing here. I feel like the state can play a significant role in helping to address what makes people homeless. We have a lot of people who lose their job, can't afford the rent, end up on the street. But what are things we can do to help ensure that we have job safety? What can we do to ensure that the rent doesn't get raised so high that you can't pay it, you get kicked out, and now you're on the street? What can we do as a state to look at stable housing prices without property taxes that go up so high that you can't stay in your house and you end up on the street? I feel like that's something the state can help happen. The cities, in my opinion, are the ones that can provide the extra housing to move homeless people into. Danny, I was going to bring in Sun Air myself. We have a wonderful project that we were working on, and the Turning Point candidate got to get rid of it. Cities have to help make that happen.
Thank you. All right, question 4. We're dealing with education's local impact. Our speaking order will be Mr. Hart, D, Dr. Hunter, A, Ms. Moses, B, and Mr. Callaway, C. So we go D, A, B, C as the speaking order. Here's your question. State decisions on ESA vouchers and school funding land directly in District 5 schools, neighborhoods, and economy. How do those state choices show up locally, and what is your role from your office in responding? 1 minute, Mr. Hart.
Yeah, it's terrible. Now, just to fill in a little bit more of my biography, one of the things I wanted to do after I recovered was get involved in the community. I got certified as a teacher, and I've been doing substitute teaching in the Greenville School District. So this is very close to me. And by the way, I also have a nephew who has a special needs child who's 6 years old. They're trying to deal with that. So ESAs are, to me, the worst crime that I think the Republicans have ever done. To try and take money out of our public schools to give it to people who are already pretty wealthy and just want to use it to pull out the kids that are easy kids to teach, the upper income kids, and just leave the schools with nothing but the burdens, right? The special needs, the troubled children for lower, maybe crime-ridden families, missing dads, that sort of thing. So what can we do about it? Well, I think it's a state level thing, and I hope the Democrats can take over the legislature. Change all that.
Thank you, Mr. Hart.
Ditto. Public funds should not be used for private schools, in my opinion. We gotta get rid of that. And the legislature is responsible for the pass legislation, and then they said provide oversight and for the ESA vouchers, and that will take care of the problem.
Ms. Moses, 1 minute.
I agree, obviously, the legislature is the one, I'm hoping our initiative, this initiative is going to get on the ballot and is going to be passed. If it does not, for some horrible reason, we absolutely have to have the legislature's first steps to get control of the vouchers, put a cap on it, get oversight, and get some money back into our public schools. We have too many in our cities that are closing. I've talked to people who are closing, and the thing that really concerns me as well, and that's not in the news as much, but I know people who live in the rural areas, 90% of the kids in this state go to public school. Rural areas don't have private schools. Your public school closes, you're driving 30 miles to try and get your children to public schools, and that's a crime, and it absolutely has to be addressed.
Thank you. Mr. Callaway, 1 minute.
It's pretty obvious that starving our public schools of money. If that worked, Arizona schools would be number one. If taking money from public schools were to build great citizens of this state, Arizona would be number one. Obviously, we're not. So we need to do something different. And it's not what we've always done before, because we cannot solve problems in the same mindset as we cause them. So we have to start thinking differently and revamp this whole system and make schools produce citizens that will drive us and continue on in the next 21st century. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, candidates and audience, we are on question 5, public safety and immigration. Our speaking order will be A, B, C, and D, just down the line. And candidates and audience, here's your question. Programs like 287G sit where city policies meet state and federal policy. How should Mesa and the state align on public safety while maintaining community trust? Each candidate will receive 1 minute. Dr. Hunter.
Well, we first have to use as a foundation humanitarian treatment for immigration. We're not getting that. The state and the city are not cooperating as much as they could. I do a homeless ministry, so I know what's going on with them. We have to treat the immigrants and the border control, treat it like the people we're working with are human beings rather than animals. And we have to have that as a foundation for anything we do. They are human beings and they have to be treated well. The state and the city are responsible for that. There's no excuse for it. There's no one out, but for them to do what they're supposed to do.
Thank you. Ms. Moses, 1 minute.
Everyone knows that immigration and border policy is federal. However, we as a state can help ensure that people are treated appropriately, are treated under the constitutional federal and state laws that we have, because we have actions occurring with ICE and others that break federal and state laws regularly. They do not follow the Constitution. There's no due process. And I believe that we as a state can pass laws that hold them accountable. They try and pretend they're immune, and they are not. It's just a statement made by somebody in Washington. We need to have laws that hold them accountable for murder, for aggravated assault, for breaking our state laws, our federal laws, and our constitutional laws. And that we need people to be able to sue when they're not treated properly. Right now, if they're claiming to be immune, if they violate your civil rights, you should be able to sue them for that. They have a right to be paid. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Callaway, 1 minute.
Thank you. Malcolm Gladwell spoke talking to strangers. Proved to me that having a police state does not create a safe place or build community. And I do not believe that any municipality or government agency should have a contract with an organization that violates constitutional rights. Period. Thank you.
Mr. Hart, 1 minute.
Yes, the 287G is what actually brought me into this race. I'm not a politician. I never even thought about running for an office. But after I saw what happened in Minneapolis, Minnesota, Mrs. Good and Mr. Craig, I said, this is just terrible. These can't be American police. These can't be American people doing this. And the concept of them coming to Mesa and doing the same thing, it's all kind of on hold now, right? Because of what happened. Finally, the president backed down and got rid of, whatever, Christie Home. But it could come, and I see no reason for it whatsoever. 287G is simply an agreement with the police department to assist ICE. And I don't think ICE needs our assistance. Let them do their dirty work on their own. Why should we pay for it? So that's going to be one of my biggest points. And I will tell you right now, I don't think there's anybody on the city council who is opposed to it. So hopefully I'll get out there.
All right, we're moving into the lightning round at this time. This is where you're using their paddles, only not on each other. We're using it to show yes or no for the question that I read. We have 7 questions for this round. Please, candidates, make sure that you show your answer, yes or no, for each question. Moving on to question number 1. Do you support limiting new development based on water availability? Yes or no? Question 2. Do you support stronger groundwater and water use regulations? Question 3. Do you support higher density housing to address affordability?
There's 2 sides to that question. They didn't give us there's 2 sides to the question.
Okay, moving on. Question 4. Do you support local participation in federal immigration enforcement programs such as 287G? Question 5. Do you support reasonable gun regulations like gun type limitations and age limits? Question 6. Do you support raising Arizona's minimum wage? Question 7. Should government play an active role in addressing homelessness? Thank you. All right. Next segment is our deep dive question. There will be 2 questions in this particular portion of our forum this evening. And our speaking order will be B, C, D, A. So we'll start with Ms. Moses, and let me read the question. Water security in the East Valley runs through both state groundwater law and city development approvals. Be specific. From the officer seeking, what trade-off are you willing to make? Slowing new development, tightening use on agriculture, or tightening use on existing residents? And where must the level of government meet you? 1 minute. Ms. Blair.
I don't want to tighten on residents currently. I do think we need to control housing that is being developed. We already have in the active management areas. They're required before they can add any housing development to prove that there is 100 years of water available before they do that development. They also, the other state agents are required to tell people the water issue and wherever they're buying a house. The problem we have right now is the legislature every year, I read all these bills every year, puts up bills every year trying to get around that 100 years of water requirement. But they don't need to do it here because of this, or they don't need to do it there. That has to stop. We need to stop it with laws on the state, but we also need the city to help us enforce that people are sticking to that when they're developing new housing. So to me, it's controlling the housing, making sure only housing being built when there's 100 years of water available.
Thank you. Mr. Callaway, 1 minute.
Thank you. So once again, this is not a new issue for Harrison. We've had to build infrastructure and do great planning for a long time to make sure that we can have the growth and our great society that we have here now. Now that we're starting to see that we're on the end of the utility of our SRP, APS, and Central Arizona project, we have to think bigger and further into the future and actually double down on, are we going to be here for the next 100, 200 and plus years? And if so, we need to do some pipelines and think a little differently than regulating and trying to just squeak out a little bit more out of here. This is a great place for human habitation. We go to a huge environmental impact here. We can bring in good water. We can have a desalination plant off the Gulf of California and pump water back up into the Colorado. We need to think into the future and bigger and better so our children's children can have a great place here in Arizona.
Thank you. Mr. Hart, 1 minute.
So, I have to admit, I haven't really studied these issues on in a broad way, of course, on this law. But I would say, I would never want to restrict homeowners, kind of the regular residents. It's a very tough question for me, like, when we come back on agriculture use, agriculture is very important, of course. Where do we say? I think part of my earlier statement about no slow growth or controlled growth would come into play. I don't really want to dodge the issue. I guess I would just say this is one of those things that never came up. I would really spend a lot of time studying it, consulting experts, getting all the feedback I could from the community, and try to make the best decision that helps everybody who's concerned. Sometimes that's not easy, but that's kind of what we're hired for, right? Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Hunter.
Well, I am still struggling and learning about water resource management. I would need a lot more training, a lot more information, a lot more research. If I do know it's a complex issue, and the biggest part of that is an affordable part of that, the water issue, that it's a natural resource, and human beings can never totally control it. So I think sort of a comprehensive plan from all sides, all different entities, it's the state, the city, the Native American community, as well as other countries are even involved in water resource usage. So it's complex, and that's something that when I get in the house, I'll have to do a lot more studying.
Thank you. All right, we're going to move to deep dive into question number 2. And our order of speakers will be starting with Mr. Callaway, C, D, A, and B. Start with Mr. Callaway. Let me read that.
That's the quickest thing ever. He's getting some big time, man.
I think that was for me. Okay, here's your question. Working families in Mesa are squeezed by housing and the cost of living, which neither the city nor the state can fix alone. From your office, name the single policy lever you would pull first, who it helps most, who would object, and what you need the other level of government to do. Mr. Callaway, 1 minute.
Well, that falls right back into all my values. It changed the Arizona Democratic Party's platform last year to FDR's second bill of economic rights. And that hits us all. It's affordable housing, a decent house for every family, it's affordable wage, that affordable food, clothing, and recreation, healthcare for all, decent education, and all the social securities. It's going to take all of these, and it's going to take all of us pulling on that arc of justice to pull it down to approach its justice. It's going to take all of our actions, all of our support, and all the levers we can do to get the corporations out of our system, out of our government, and take back our representative democracy from the oligarchs. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Hart, 1 minute.
So I think, the question is sort of about what do we need, from the different levels of government. Well, I've already kind of spoke about what the city could do on this. Right? We can authorize a lot more dense housing, a lot more apartment buildings. I like to do it especially along the corridor of the light rail. A lot of spaces there for development. But the main thing we need is we need money, of course. The state does provide a lot of funding to the city. There's a major source of our funding along with federal grants. So I would just try to do everything I could to get more money and then open it up for more development, but good development, development that will really help, the work working class and middle class people. And don't spend so much energy on the people that can give us big campaign contributions. Let's go with the radio.
Thank you, Dr. Hunter.
Well, I'm already a champion of the underdog, and I believe that the funding is there, the money is there. They need to be moved around and appropriated to the proper part of the community. We have to take the care of the most vulnerable people in our community first. They're holding up the rest of us with their work, with their commitments to the jobs they do, and no menial jobs. We have to provide the funding. We can do that because it could have been done, but if we get in the office, we'll see that it's done.
Thank you, Ms. Moses, 1 minute.
No, I just want to confirm your question. You talked about which one lever we would pull first, so you said.
Name the single policy lever you would pull first, correct? Who it helps the most, who would object, and what would you need for the other level of government to do?
Because there are many, I agree with everybody that's spoken up here, but if I really had to narrow it down to one, I really think at this point, it would be getting control over the data centers. Because it's hurting us in many ways. How many, somebody yell out right now, I don't have a little bit of time, yell out how many data centers we have in Phoenix Valley.
164.
We have 170 some just in the Phoenix Valley. Just in the Phoenix Valley, people don't know that. And what's happening is that the data centers that are being built because people want money. They're selling out our state to billionaires and oligarchs to build data centers. They're taking our water, they're taking our power. A lot of people forget about the power issue. We're a state that hits 115. We use a lot of power, and they're using our power. Some of them are so big, they're building their own power plants. These are concerns. Control the data centers.
Okay, we have reached the closing statement section of our forum this evening. The order of go will be D, C, B, and A. So Mr. Hart, you will start, and you each have 1 minute for your closing statements. Mr. Hart, 1 minute.
Yes. So, listen, I grew up in a very modest environment. I've worked hard my whole life. I've known tragedy. Basically been wiped out financially by my health issues. Never expected those. I think I can relate to people that need help. And that's really the only reason I'm running. I really want to try to do something right for the people. And keep in mind that, millionaires and billionaires, they don't control everything. And if we combine together, we can overcome. Thank you.
Mr. Callaway, 1 minute.
Thank you. One of the changes I've seen is we've gone from representative democracy to oligarchy, and how that's changed our system in the last 16 years. And so that's when I really woke up politically and got involved. I became a precinct committee person. I knocked 1,000 doors inside Bow for campaigns and for every season. I became elected as a state committee member for the Arizona Democratic Party. Learned my lessons in that whole system. Got the Arizona Democratic Party's platform changed, but it hasn't really had a change in decades. And we haven't had a representative with Democratic House and Senate here in Arizona since 1967. So way more than my lifetime. We have not seen what people can do. We have a government looking out for the people can do for Arizona. We've been having representatives that are bought and paid for by the corporations that we need to get out.
Thank you. Ms. Moses, 1 minute.
Since the time I was a child, I wanted to help people. I knew by the time I was in junior high, I wanted to do healthcare because I wanted to help people. I did 30 years in healthcare to help people. Decided to go into law because people don't always like lawyers, but you need them when there's something other bad's happening. And I knew that would be another way I could help people. I had retired from that, was having fun with my husband, traveling and having a good time, and I was asked to run for office.
And I said yes, because I wanted to help people in this state. We're struggling. We're getting no bills that help any of us right now out of this legislature. And I felt compelled to step up and try and get into the legislature. I have a whole folder of the things we need to do to make things better for all of us. And I pledge to you that I will do that if I'm elected. I'm here to help you and make our lives better. Dr. Humphrey,
Again, I say it's time. It's our time. The time is here. And I can feel it in my spirit. Democrats, independents, and Republicans who care about their fellow Arizonans need to come together and vote for the right person. Picture us. Vote. We need to vote in the primary just to show that, let people see that we're involved and engaged. And vote again on November 3rd, the general election, and vote out the people who are harming our state and taking advantage of every opportunity they can to hurt others. We need everybody to vote for what's best for working families and for those who are unhoused and for those, our school children, and those who are vulnerable and need our support. It is time for us to vote. No more low voter turnout. No more people saying they don't vote because their vote doesn't count. Time to vote for families and communities. Vote out the politicians who care nothing about their fellow human beings.
Thank you. We have reached the close of our forum. Thank you to all our candidates for participating this evening. Thank you to all our volunteers and everyone who joined us tonight. An informed electorate is essential to a healthy democracy. Please remember, voter registration deadline is June 22nd, 2026. Early ballots will be mailed on the 24th of June, and the primary is on July 21st. Thank you for attending and have a wonderful evening.
Brings our meeting to a close. I hope you could think around a little bit and meet our wonderful candidates. This is a very, very strange motion we need a motion to adjourn. We have a second.
Aye.
All in favor of not having you be in charge of this country meetings? Thank you very much. Meet the candidates.